Hey friends, viewers, how you doing? Great. So, building a computer has a lot of hype. It seems complex and scary, etc. So I want to show you how I built my computer, therefore calming your frayed nerves and making everyone a more informed individual. First, the only tools I need are some standard Phillips head screwdrivers. Optionally, you may want to wear an anti-static wristband for working with older hardware. Newer hardware, like in my computer, is generally resistant to light static. Let's look at the main parts we will need. The case will hold and attach to everything, like any young puppy. My case is larger than most, and while it does give me plenty of space and an ominous look, it is a struggle to carry around. Keep this in mind when looking at cases. Next is the motherboard. Just like the case holds everything, the motherboard connects to everything. All componentry will attach one way or another to be controlled by this motherly component. The CPU, interchangeably referred to as the processor, is the most infamous component of the build. It is small, fragile, and expensive. My CPU is a 6-core i7-5820K, a total beast. While we are taught to run away from things and people with these characteristics, you cannot help but admire the shiny gold contact points and immense compute power this chip holds. The RAM, or memory, is the right-hand man to the CPU, holding whatever the CPU needs quick access to. More RAM means more space for the CPU to stretch its legs. Here is 16GB of the newest DDR4 RAM. CPUs generate massive amounts of heat and must be cooled. I have an all-in-one liquid cooler, though simple air coolers are more common. To deliver power cleanly and in organized fashion, the power supply unit, or PSU, is central to taking power from the wall and making it exactly what the components want. Depending on your case and needs, more fans may be useful to bring in cool air and provide more airflow than what the fans that come with the case usually provide. Finally, another centerpiece, the graphics card, or GPU. This is a GTX 970. GPUs are specialized for rendering 3D models. This is essential for gaming and many professional uses. Before we begin, you can see me here cleaning the gunk off the CPU. Since I've been using it already, we need to clean off old thermal paste so that we can reapply it later. Rubbing alcohol and a paper towel is sufficient. Now let's start. First, unlatch the levers holding down the CPU socket. Open it up and marvel at the awfully delicate pins. Identify the arrow on the socket, then match the orientation of the gold arrow on the CPU to it. Gently set the CPU down on the pins without any pressure. Give it a wiggle to ensure its seating and close the mechanism in the reverse order you opened it, and remove the plastic cover. Next, we need to insert our RAM sticks. Open the tab, find the notch in the stick and orient the stick to match the notch in the slot. Press down to click the tab into place. Repeat this for all the sticks and you're good to go. Congrats to us, we made it this far. Let me check now to make sure I haven't destroyed any components by plugging in power to the motherboard and seeing if the lights show up. Awesome, we are set. Now we begin our journey into the case by installing the rear I/O cover to interface with the motherboard from the back of the computer. Just firmly press it into place with the audio holes at the bottom. Now, after ensuring that your motherboard standoffs are screwed into the right holes on your case, align your motherboard and drop it into place. We can now connect some wires such as the front panel I/O, front USB, and front audio along the bottom of the board. On the right side of the board, we can go ahead and connect the front USB 3 header. Now I'm going to install some LED fans into the bottom of the case for more airflow and cool underglow effect. Now would be a good time to actually screw the motherboard into place. I won't explain this too much, because I assume you're capable of screwing, so do your thing. I'm going to quickly install a fan to exhaust out the back, connecting it to the nearest fan header on the motherboard. Next, drop in the AIO liquid cooler. I choose to have the radiator at the top of the case exhausting out. Now be careful with the hanging block so not to damage anything. We are now set to place it on top of the CPU. First, we need to reapply new thermal paste. A grain of rice is usually the size to go for. Since I put a little too much, I'm going to manually spread it a bit to reduce the amount. The pressure of the block will finish the spread. To place the block, insert the standoffs into the pre-installed brace, set the block on top, and screw down with the included thumb screws. It's important to have even pressure across the processor. As this is happening, it's not a bad idea to cable manage as you go, for a cleaner and easier job at the end. Now screw in the power supply at the bottom. The fan of the PSU is up to you on which way you want it to intake air. My 2.5-inch storage drives fit into area at the back of the case, though more traditional 3.5-inch drives have their own bay to sit in. Plug in the SATA cables for data transfer and route them to connect to the SATA ports on the motherboard. Now we need to remove PCI slot covers for PCI devices, such as the graphics card. To install the GPU, open the tab and press the card into the PCIe slot until the tab clicks, then screw it in. Optionally, this LED kit goes into a PCI slot. Insert it and we are good to go. I install an additional fan controller to allow for more fans, as I have 7 of these suckers, or blowers, whichever fits. Now we begin connecting power cables. Since this is a modular PSU, we can choose which cables to connect to the power supply first, then plug them into the necessary components. This includes 8-pin CPU, 24-pin ATX for motherboard, 8 plus 6-pin for graphics, SATA power for drives, and a stupid, out-of-date Molex connector which you should never have to encounter for that old LED kit. Now we have one last chance to cable manage, especially to clean up the mess on the backside. The worst. Once all is done, you can begin crossing everyone's fingers around you and press the power button to see if today was worth living for. Perfect. Stuff is spinning. I love my blue and black color scheme. Being able to add artistic choice is another cool thing about custom PCs. So this is essentially how any desktop PC is built. The process involves many of the same components. Remember, this is just an oversight. I have years of experience. And if you want to go in for your first time, study up more in depth. Look up all the details and read your component instructions. So there you go guys, there's a PC build. I hope you enjoyed that one. I'm trying to diversify the content on the channel, and so as this is a more formal video, I do plan on bringing more, like adventure style stuff, and hope that comes in well. Not sure what else I want to do next, but hopefully fitness videos are in. We're not doing another Walmart paper fork thing because it's just really oversaturated right now. There's a ton of those videos, so there's no need for more of that. I know this is a really specific video, but I hope to keep this channel general, so just bear with me. I just really wanted to do this one because I like computers a lot, so that's that. As you can see, it came out pretty well. It's right behind me. Very powerful, everything I need. If you ever have any questions about building a computer like this, hit me up, comment section. If you know me personally, send me a message, and we can talk through, because computers are pretty useful. So yeah, peace. Oh my god, it's so weird doing this kind of stuff. Look at this, 1 second. Look, here's my script. I wrote this massive script just to keep on track with this. It's like 3 pages in Word. I was just sitting here reading it the whole time. But yeah, I hope you liked it. I really enjoyed the taking really nice close-up shots of the componentry. I hope it looks really good. I'm gonna try and make it look as good as possible on YouTube. I know might lose some detail there, but yeah. Peace.